How do I start this? Hello everyone. It's been a while. So for the 50 or whoever still keeps up with my channel, this is completely unscripted, and I actually want to talk about what has been happening for the past 2 years. For some of you who have been following me throughout my journey in YouTube and all that shit, even though I only have like 68 subscribers, I haven't really posted a lot ever since like the senior montage video. And I get it, it was basically like high school, you know, it's high school projects, like pretty much majority of them, right? But some of them, of course, I have made upon my own terms, like the Lunar New Year video that I made in 2019, and then along with that, the basketball video as well as the senior montage. I haven't really posted a lot of content after that, partially because, you know, it is in fact about the COVID-19 pandemic, where it's like, oh, you're pretty much restricted from doing whatever you can. I know these days, well, Omicron and all, but these days it's gotten a little bit better with how much you can move around and all that good stuff. As you may know, there has been a very big drought on my channel as of the past year, I think, year and a half, I don't know. And the only video that has been created basically has been 3 videos, 2 of which are piano covers of me singing and playing the piano.
我愿变成童话里那些年错过的大雨，那些年错过的爱情。
The other was something I made during film class during the summer of June and July. There is like one thing I want to talk about, and that is something called motivation. For the past year, or actually for a majority of the time that I've made my content, which consisted of montages and all that kind of stuff, I was only motivated because of having to do with getting some sort of grade. These grades would typically come from the video production class I was in my high school years of junior and senior years, as well as some other video projects like the Decades project back in my push class in junior year as well. And one thing I wanted to say is that, like, it's hard. I haven't talked about it too much, about how, like, oh, it's motivation that kind of kills it, you know. I talked to a few people about it, and they kind of see where I'm getting at. When you create something, you need the sort of like right motivation to keep going and all that kind of stuff. For the past year and a half or longer, I guess, I haven't really been motivated enough to making a lot of content as of recently too, and mostly because I always start writing and then afterwards it just doesn't really come up as well as I wanted to. Like, for example, back in the summer of 2019, I was in East Asia for the summer vacation, you know, like the last summer vacation I had before the inevitable happened. Basically, I wanted to make a travel montage that goes on with the beat, of course, with like copyrighted music and all, but for some reason, after reaching basically what I presume to be the third act, or like the third part of our trip, when editing it, I pretty much stopped touching it. And I can see that, like, for one thing, it was just that it didn't seem too good of a video for me to edit, because it contained too many transitions. If you watched my 2019 reflection video, I think I kind of hinted on that. But for the most part, I for some reason lost motivation for it, and I kind of don't know why I lost motivation. I now don't really remember, since it's gonna be like 2.5 years since then. The second video that I would like to mention, that or at least the second planned video that I want to put up was a 2020 year in review, not the 2018-2019 year in reviews that I made in high school. Those two were just for class, and we just wanted to poke fun at those years. I wanted to make it a little bit of a serious 2020 video, but 2010 year in review, but for the most part, I wasn't able to do that at either. Well, I did get, like, for the most part, a majority of it, or not the majority, like 1% of it done. I was also starting college, freshman year of college, first year. Even though it was online, I know I had like a little bit more time since one, I was at home sitting here with all these lights. You know, it started college, and plus like there was stuff I kind of drifted towards instead. So by then, basically, that video got scrapped, and by the time it hit December, I'm just like, well, shit, it didn't matter anyways. The third video that I wanted to also try to make was a Santa Cruz like travel montage when during Memorial Day weekend around May, end of May, was sort of, or in retrospect, dying, quote unquote, until of course it kind of came back. It was like definitely a time where I wanted to reflect on those memories and say, hey, those were definitely like the moments we missed for about a year by then. And so I know, like, some people ask me, oh, you're filming something, you know. I'm like, yeah, I want to make like a travel montage, you know, like, you know, it's for memories, you know. I kind of feel bad not doing it, because like I looked at the footage, and I think the reason why I didn't do it is because I didn't have enough B-roll for each of the days. Like the first day I had a lot, and the last day was, I wouldn't say depressing, but it was, when I recorded some of those, especially the last shots going back home, it was very sad, I will say, because for one, it was, for me, very surreal to see meet all the faces that I could have met in person, but only through online. That video got scrapped mainly because I didn't have a lot of footage that I needed.
Too sad.
The last video that I wanted to try to make, which ended up becoming maybe this video, was like a sort of reflection video, which is why a reflection video for the past 2 years, like 2020 and 2021, how much it has pretty much changed my perspective of life, as well as other stuff about the past 2 years. For many of us, 2020 and 2021, mostly 2020, it's a whole shock and sort of life-changing that it's come to the point where we have to be much more aware of our health, and yet we have reached also another point where we're being very divisive about it as well. And I think for me, in 2020, it was by far like the hardest year for me, because one, we didn't get like a sort of senior send-off that many of us wanted, which sucks, but it is what it is. And then two, 2020 kind of put me in a spot where it's just like, okay, so now that we're stuck in person, will things start to go up from here? Because, you know, last year was really shit, and 2021 has been somewhat better, in my opinion, in my perspective, because 2021 I at least finally got outside and hung out with people, albeit with having to have this sort of self-awareness that you have this sort of pandemic, you have the coronavirus pandemic still going on, and that for the past 2 years it has definitely changed my perspective on what I could do, but it's also kind of impacting what my long-term plans, especially, And so for that, it has been, like I've mentioned earlier, that like it's mostly that the pandemic hasn't really helped me try to make anything. It's that I just feel kind of stuck, honestly. Like, what do I want to create? And if it really will pan out to many other people. See, the last thing I wanted was to completely drop making content. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like editing videos, typically made by myself. I have in the past helped out with sort of team projects, like the Every 50 Minutes video, as well as like more recently the Lunar New Year Festival, well, the Lunar New Year Banquet for the online version in the past winter. And then much more recently, while it's still not out but it's on Twitch, with a film club, I've helped them in their team efforts as well. As I've seen it, it's gotten so much harder for me to stay motivated to really work on the stuff that I want to make, and I don't know what to do about it. See, I'm making this video just to show that sometimes, like, staying motivated will need this sort of, like, you need, like, a lot more of a push than just, like, oh, I have this idea, but then, like, oh, but I want to do this. So this is why I'm making this video, is this is now officially my way. Hopefully, I might eat my words, like, in a few months, but hopefully starting the beginning of 2022, today is at the moment December 30th, 2021, 10:32 p.m. Pacific, that I'm hoping that at some point, that especially like this upcoming year, I'll try to make some content if I can. I don't expect myself to be making any content like at all for the next quarter, which is like 2.5 months, obviously because of a busy schedule, as well as well, it's mostly that, but I really hope that I can at least push for more content in the next year, which is why this video is being launched, that this will be my only push on myself, that I need to really and truly get my ass in gear and start to make the videos that are in my head and that I want to make. Now, there is another thing I would like to talk about. If many of you probably know, half of you might know this, but I do stream on Twitch. Okay, ever since October, I haven't streamed a lot, mainly because now I'm in person over on campus, and the Wi-Fi is very shitty. And yeah, I also stream late at night, and it's not possible. And typically I would have to stream like in the afternoon, but obviously university comes first, and I can't really stream on campus. I would have streamed these past 3 weeks, but I haven't really. I wanted to use this winter break as an actual break, because I got really tired during fall quarter, and you wanted to also mentally be ready for the upcoming quarter, because the upcoming quarter for me will be by far the most stressful portion of what would be, I think, so far my life. My next quarter will consist of 2 upper div major classes and just 1 under div class that is for my minor, as well as club obligations. So basically, this past 3 weeks have been me trying to mentally prepare for myself for what is about to come. Again, I just wanted to use this to push myself, to really motivate myself into making other videos that I want, while also showing that, like, some of us might also face the same problems of being motivated enough to make certain things as well. So yeah, If you are still subscribed to the channel, thank you. But I don't really mind if you don't. Honestly, I just want my stuff to be shown, and if people really like it, that's all I really care about. But yeah, that's it for the most part. Thank you for watching. And to wrap up this video, I would like to say thank you to those who have stuck around with me for the past 2 years during these difficult times. I'm truly grateful and lucky to have you all be with me, and that hopefully next year we can still make a lot of great memories together, and along with that, still support each other, obviously. And for those who have still watched my content or my stream or whatever, thank you again, as always, for the support. Hopefully next year, 2022, despite Omicron, that next year it will be a year to at least look forward to. Alright, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Happy New Year. Goodbye.